We're back with a classic. It's the Sugar Daddy teams versus teams with £1 billion. Who will come out on top over a long simulation? Let's find out, shall we? So last time we were in the Championship when we did this, but today we've got 3 teams for each, and they're all in the Premier League. So we've chosen Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, and Wolves. As you can see, Bournemouth do not have a large balance, therefore it's safe to assume that I have put a front-end rich benefactor, aka the Sugar Daddy. Crystal Palace and Roy Hodgson have £1 billion to spend. Unfortunately, I haven't gone through and changed the season's budget and the wage budget, so the first season's probably not going to have a lot happen to it. Although the board in theory should bring some money through. So, you know. Fulham, again, they've got £1 billion with Marco Silva in charge. Luton also got £1 billion, which means Nottingham Forest have the front end rich benefactor, as do Wolves. And that's it. It's as simple as that. We've put notes on each team so we can see them at a snapshot. There will be sugar daddies that leave the clubs. Almost certainly, which is why we do it with more than one team, because previously we've had it where teams have lost and you're following just the one team towards the end of the experiment. So what we're going to do is, if we go through 5 years to begin with, we'll go through just 5 years to 2028 and we'll see, has anything happened with any of the teams? Well, this doesn't bode well, does it? We've come to the job security screen because it's easiest way without having to manually type in something to get to the league that we want to look at. And we've got Bournemouth and Fulham have sacked their managers. So Arsenal have been on a tear, 3 league titles and 2 for Manchester City. So only 4 of the teams are still in the top division, and we can see Luton, they've got £1 billion, they've been relegated. They've still got £1 billion. The season's budget is 289 million and a wage budget of just under 5. If we look at the transfers for Luton, the first season, obviously they didn't do a lot because they wouldn't have had the money. 56 million, bringing in 38, so they didn't do a lot in that second season. Again, only just overspending from what they're bringing in. Bit more there, 76 to 49. Jaden Braff, he's quite a good player, isn't he? Or has he just not got good on this one? He's not got very good, has he? Joby Bellingham, who again, he's not got great. Disappointing, isn't it? They've actually brought in more there. They've sold Jaden Braff onto Barnsley, making a profit. So Luton have not spent a lot at all, and you can see it because they've still got £1 billion in the bank. When did they come down? Probably the first season, I would have thought. Yeah, they came 20th. And they've been in the Championship ever since. To be honest, they finished 3rd and then 4th, and they've actually slipped further back down to mid-table. That's disappointing, so they're not doing anything with the money at all. Fulham, as I say, managerless. They've yo-yoed. They went down and they came up as champions, and then a couple of seasons in the Premier Division, coming down. I mean, they only just narrowly avoided relegation in the first season, finishing 17th. Now back down in the Championship. And Fulham, of course, got 342 million in the balance. So they were $1 billion. So where's all their money gone? Not on transfers. They're bringing in people in, but they're selling just as much. 30 million there. It's not $1 billion, is it? They've 67 million they've brought in back here. Yeah, 342 million. They've got a season budget of nearly 78 million, wage budget of 2.5. So Sugar Daddy at Wolves, they've been mid-table. They've been mid-table. Have they done much with the money? 73 million pounds spent there. Nearly 40 million they've spent more than they brought in. Again, 60 million more there. Spending 144 million. Shaquille Van Persie from Feyenoord for 49 million pounds. Big signing. They did bring 68 million pounds back in though. But Wolves have made some moves. Nottingham Forest then. Patrick Vieira's in charge of Nottingham Forest. Again, they've managed to maintain themselves mid-table, finished 17th once. But every other season, they've actually done quite well. 15th, a couple of 12th and a 9th. We won't be doing this for every single check-in, but we are, to begin with, we're just going to have a quick look in on the teams. And as you can see, the Sugar Daddies at Forest are helping them spend reasonably big. They've sold quite a bit this season. I think the transfer window is still going on, so I'm sure they'll bring players in over the course of this window. And there you go. The front end Sugar Daddy is still there at Forest. Crystal Palace are down at £281 million, and yeah, the £1 billion is running out for some of the teams. Luton have managed to maintain it. I don't know how. Palace spending more than they're getting in. Not massively, but £136 million there. But they've brought in 103 mil. They've not done too bad. £92 million coming in here. Bournemouth, of course, they've got a front-end Sugar Daddy. Well, they did. He's gone. The Sugar Daddy's gone. There we go. Dave Hall scales down funding. They've been down. They've promoted in 2025. Dave Hill scales down funding. Dave Hall withdraws funding, but then they've moved to Dave Hall Park. What an arrogant sod. He's been here for 5 years. He's built a new stadium in his name, right? Scales down funding. What funding's he give them? 13 mil. They've made 70 mil there. Okay, they spent nearly 100. Spent 40. Yeah. So Bournemouth will not be followed at all through the rest of this experiment. So we've already lost Bournemouth, the first casualty. And I haven't got a manager either. Look at this. Palace and Forest coming runner-up in the Carabao Cup. So are they slowly starting to make moves? Look at Sunderland winning the FA Cup. Thomas Frank in charge of Sunderland. Well, anyway, there you go then. So we are looking at 2028. Should we go through? Let's go 15 years from now. Let's go to 2043. See how we're doing. Okay, so in terms of past winners, well, look at this. We've got one. We've got a bite, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Wolves who are taking it on. Wolves, who have got £473 million in the bank. Enzo Maresca is in charge, and they've got the front end sugar daddy, as previously mentioned. So Wolves are actually doing very well. Runner up in the Premier League a few times. They've won the Europa League twice in 2030 and 2035. They've got 3 Carabao Cups, one of them in 2035. So a very good season there for them. No FA Cups in this experiment. Oh, they've got a Conference League as well in 2034. So they've gone Conference League, Europa League, back-to-back seasons. They've got fantastic facilities as well. They've really been investing there. And that's the sugar daddy. It was sugar daddy, wasn't it? Yeah, they've got the front-end sugar daddy, and they've got £473 million in the bank, 198 in the season budget, 218 remaining. So they've sold someone. Not a lot going on. Look at that. 194 in, 162 out. They bought Diego Lillo from Forest. Not expensive. Gabriel Heinze for Nottingham Forest. Well, they've got £106 million in the bank. They were also with the front-end sugar daddy. And as you can see, they've really upped the facilities. And the sugar daddy's still there. They've got the front-end sugar daddy still rocking and rolling. Not as much budget as Wolves. If we look at the competitions and we go down the domestic leagues, we do see, actually, they've been down in the Championship. They've yo-yoed a bit. They've been mid-table. Look at that. 3 seasons in a row they finished in the Championship third. Obviously winning the playoffs in the final season, where they actually had the worst goal difference they had of the 3 seasons. Not the worst points total, though. Which has been a bit indifferent for Nottingham Forest. Of course, Wolves, as you can see here, they finished second. They've been mid-table. They've been top half, should I say, every single season. On the cusp of Europe, maybe getting into Europe a few times in 7th at Conference League place or Europa League place, depending on who wins the tournaments. And they finished 2nd and 3rd a few times. Yet to win it, but I think that's on its way. I think that is on its way. I mean, in terms of Wolves, have they got... They've got 2 players here. One at potential ability of 190, who's got currently at 180. Jacob Bell, who's 33. He's probably been at 190. Richard Ivings, current ability of 197, potential ability of 199. He was signed for 102 million a good few years ago, and wow, he went on loan to Forest. The other sugar daddy was Bournemouth. Curtis Jones in charge, and again, we saw, didn't we, that he'd gone. They'd scaled down the funding. Bournemouth Stadium, it's been renamed. They got rid of the name Dave Hall or whatever. Dave Hall withdraws funding. Arda Güler appointed as captain in 2031. Don't know, it doesn't say when they changed stadium name, maybe as soon as Dave Hall left. Anyway, so £1 billion. Luton, they've only got £54 million left. So they've spunked their entire budget. They've just been in the Championship. And we'll go and look at the Championship at Palace and Fulham. They've got £57 million. Jamie Vardy's in charge of Palace. Fulham got £81 million again. So £1 billion has done nothing. Sugar daddies are all the win. So we're going to be basically following Wolves and Forest throughout the rest of this experiment. Which is a bit of a shame, really. I mean, we'll check in on these teams, see if they've actually come back and do anything, but it's very disappointing, isn't it? Very disappointing indeed to see the £1 billion gone with nothing to show for it. I mean, Wolves have won a Carabao Cup, come run up a few times. Forest and Palace, we saw that. FA Cup, no winners. Forest, Wolves, Palace, runners up. It's just disappointing, really, if you look at it in that sense. But we've got quite a few years still to go in this experiment. So we're going to go through another 15 to 2058. See how things are going on then. Okay, Forest are relegated. Forest have been deducted 9 points. They would have been safe. So Forest would have been safe. They've been deducted 9 points for going into administration. And they've gone into administration because their sugar daddy's gone. Only 21 million in the red. Not got much budget. What's happening then? Where is it all gone wrong? Don't know where it's all gone wrong. They've not massively overspent. I mean, £212 million they brought in here. £80 million to João Pereira going to Real Madrid. David Udtorn. What a name that is. What a player he is as well. And they're going down. Forest are going down. We've lost another. Speaking of lost another, Palace have just lost in the final of the playoffs. Again, they had £1 billion. They've not got £1 billion anymore. Bournemouth have gone up as champions. Again, they did have a sugar daddy. They've not got a sugar daddy anymore. They're £17 million in the hole, about to come up into the Premier League. Blackburn have gone into administration in the Championship, losing 12 points. However, they have managed to avoid relegation by 4 points. Anyway, looking back over the league, so Fulham had the £1 billion. Again, they'd lost it all by the time we were last here 15 years ago. What is that? Look at Andy Edwards. Look at this regen face. Awful. Truly awful. I don't get it. I know I go on about this in a lot of my videos, but they're so bad. This is why I've been using Midjourney. I literally am paying monthly for Midjourney to then do the work and put the faces in to make it look better and have a better immersive experience. Like, there's so much AI software out there. Surely Sports Interactive, with the most successful edition of the game ever at this point. Most amount of players playing this game. Like, it's only the second time they've hit 4 million. Saw a tweet from Miles the other day. 4 million new players. Last time it took over 100 days to do it. It took 17 this time. It's the most successful game in the history of Football Manager. Last one was awful by comparison. Like, it's still a great game, but in terms of the jump, and they've admitted it, so I'm not slagging them off. I am a bit, but they've gone off on a tangent here. Bit of a face rant. Anyway, next year better be better. That's all I'm saying. I know I keep saying it, but I'm saying it again. It's awful. This has derailed the video. Back we go. Luton, £27 million in the hole. Benjamin Cramashi is in charge, whoever that is. They've got a Carabao Cup in 1988. That isn't part of this then. So in terms of competitions, Luton, they finished 8th 2 years in a row. 7 points worse off this season, but they've got themselves a Conference League place. And that's because Brighton have got Champions League football from 7th, probably from winning the Europa League. Almost certainly. Yep, 2058. They've won the Conference League, then they've won the Europa League. How many times do we see that? It is sort of a bit of a rite of passage. You win the Conference League, you should go on and win the Europa League. Especially from England, it's sort of a thing. But as you can see here, I've not alluded to it yet. I've not come back to it yet because this is the main event of this section of the video, the Wolves section of the video. They're 4th, 4 points away from Spurs, who've just won the league. But that's not the whole story. Past winners. Wolves have won 5 Premier League titles. They've come run up plenty of times. They've got 2 Champions Leagues. 2045 and 2056. They are 2 times Champions League winners. They're actually 2 times Champions League losers as well. In the final 4 times in the last 14 years. That's pretty good going. Inter Milan have just lost the last 3 finals. Inter Milan have got a good side, haven't they? They've got a lot of good players. Look at this guy, 24 years young. He's come through their youth academy. That is sickening, isn't it? Like, I don't care how good your youth intakes are. Have you ever, leave in the comments down below, have you ever had a player come through like that? I'd love to see it. I'd love to see some of the players that have come through your youth intakes. Again, derailing the video, but what the hell? So Inter Milan have done really well in the Champions Leagues. Again, we've taken a little sidestep. Wolves, though, they've not got a manager. Why? They've sacked Federico Santoriello because he's only won a few Champions Leagues in the league, finishing 4th. He's still got a sugar daddy. They've still got the front-end sugar daddy. New chairperson, Sung Ho Park takes over Tycoon. Oh, Jung Ho Ko scaled down the funding in the 2040s. So they've actually had a secondary Tycoon takeover. In terms of the league, we don't see too much in terms of the status quo. Have Luton had a Tycoon takeover, do we think? We've got an underwriter. They've got an underwriter. Anything going on here? West Ham bottom of the league going down. Chelsea mid-table. That's normal. City and Liverpool still up there. Arsenal still up there. Brighton doing very well. Lovely to see. Burnley and Ipswich mid-table as well above Chelsea. Newcastle lower mid-table. That's disappointing for them. Leeds back in the big time. Villa, Cardiff, Norwich. So who's down in the Championship? That is Premier League quality. Leicester, I mean, they started in the Championship because they did go down in real life. Everton, loads of drama surrounding them at the moment with their points deduction and all that jazz in real life. Anyone go down in League One? Sheffield United have just coming back up. God, Sheffield United are awful on this game. They were so good in FM23. Sorry, they were so good in FM23. In FM24, they just seem to get relegated all the time. Yeah, I mean, no one down in League 2, so I can't imagine anyone's going to be in the Vanarama National. So Wolves still have their sugar daddy. They've lost their manager. They've won Champions Leagues. They've won the current FA Cup holders, beating Luton in the final. You'd love to see it. So we're following Wolves now. It's the Wolves show. How far are we going into the future? How far have I gone into the future is the question. We've got another 15 years to 2073. That seems like a good, sensible move. And then we'll be 50 years in the future. Okay. I don't even know where to start with this one. I do not even know where to start. So Tottenham and Brighton have passed it down back and forth in recent times. Wolves have finished 4th and have not got Champions League football. They've got Europa League football, and that's because Liverpool and Leicester have both got Champions League football. One can only assume that Leicester have just won the Europa League in 2073. Correct. So therefore, I would assume that Liverpool have just won the Champions League. Correct. God, I'm good. So Liverpool are the current Champions League winners. Inter Milan are still absolutely amazing. Wolves have won another one, so 3 Champions Leagues to their name. Still only the 8 Premier Leagues, and 5 of them are in this experiment. So they've not won one since. So if we go and have a look at the past winners, Wolves have got the 5 that we saw, and then they've come run up a few times. So they're still in the mix. Have they still got the sugar daddy? They do still have the sugar daddy. The front end sugar daddy's still there, which means this experiment will rumble on still. How have they been doing in the league then? Let's have a look at the actual domestic leagues. So, I mean, down in 7th here in 67-68, that was a poor showing, but they've roared back with 2nd. They've been in the top 4. They've been in the top 6, basically, in a couple of 7th place finishes, but they've been up there for 25, 30 years, even longer, to be honest. Yeah, they've been there for like 35 years. So Wolves have been a mainstay team. They've got 20 for every sort of facility. Roberto Valiente was a Wolves player who's now a legend. And as you can see, Forest have gone down. Sad to see. No one's coming in to save them in terms of a tycoon takeover. Luton, again, rubbish regen phase. New gen, whatever. Annoys me. Nothing for Luton. Bournemouth getting promoted once again. Chelsea, didn't realise they'd gone down. They've gone up as champions. Chelsea, they've been down a few times, to be fair. Lower mid-table are Chelsea. Bournemouth and Fulham are in the Championship. Does that mean Palace are in League One? Yeah, they've gone up as champions of Crystal Palace in League One. Been in the Championship for a long time. So it's the sugar daddy that's doing the business, isn't it, right now? And we keep jumping 15 years and we keep seeing sugar daddy action still happening. Wolves, should we have a quick look at FA Cup and Carabao Cups? Have they won any more of those? Yes, a few Carabao Cups. They were current Carabao Cup holders, I believe. Oh no, it was 57. It was 58 we were last here. So 58, 59, they won it that season. So they've won 3. They've had a few runners-up for some of the other teams. And they've won a couple of FA Cups. Luton have won an FA Cup as well. Go on, Luton lads. Ipswich coming run up to in the FA Cup there. Lots of runners up for the FA Cup here for Wolves in the early 2060s. Deary me. As Tottenham kept winning it. Tottenham have become very, very successful. They've got 2 Champions Leagues to their name, 10 Premier Leagues, although 8 of them are in the experiment. Lots of FA Cups, lots of Carabao Cups, Conference Leagues, Europa Leagues. They've done very well. Currently up there are Tottenham. Have they got a tycoon? No tycoon, just been very well run. And they've not even... 185 is their best player. Loads in the 170s, but, expect a bit more. And as you can see, this is why Wolves aren't doing as well as they were. They've not got anyone in the 190s like they did before. 180 is their best player. Eric Durad. I mean, he's still fantastic, isn't he? But, 111 million from Forest. Satisfying, isn't it? Both teams with the note on. Anyway, let's go another 15 years and let's go to 2088, another 15 years. We're going to jump 20 years now to 2093 and see how things are progressing there. Surely the Sugar Daddy's got to leave at some point. Although he was a replaced Sugar Daddy, wasn't it? Okay, Ipswich Town are the current Premier League winners, current champions of the Premier League. Wolves are second. Ipswich won by a point. They won on the final day, as did Wolves. But Wolves threw it away. They drew and lost twice in the last 5 games. Wolves have thrown it away and they've not won the league for a couple of years. That is awful. But they have won 3 there and 3 there, so 6 more leagues and lots of second places and third places. So we're now up at 11 Premier Leagues in this experiment. 3 Champions Leagues as well. Jonjo Parisi is in charge. Inter Milan still represented. Ipswich have won a couple of Champions Leagues. Roberto Napoli is in charge of Ipswich. I mean, that's a very stereotypical Italian name, isn't it? Like someone's taking the mick. They haven't won another Champions League, so they had 3 last time we were here. I forgot about that. They've come runner-up again in the 2070s. But they've won 8 Europa Leagues. 8 Europa Leagues of Wolves. So where they've been not falling outside of the Champions League, they've been winning the Europa Leagues consistently. Luton have got a few Conference Leagues. Go on, Luton. And Bournemouth. Go on, lads. £102 million in the bank for Luton. Oh, and they've got a back-end sugar daddy. In terms of investment leagues, as we've seen, first, second and third for the last good few years. So yeah, Bournemouth and Luton up there, and we've seen them both winning Conference Leagues. The Championship, Forest have come up as champions. Fulham there, and Palace are going down bottom. Wrexham, narrowly missing out in the Championship. Have they ever been up there? Oh, they haven't. They've only been in the Championship a bit. They've been in League One a lot. Oh, they're so close. They're so close. Go on, Wrexham. But Wolves are still doing pretty well. So have they still got the sugar daddy? They've not got the sugar daddy. The sugar daddy is gone. He's gone. And I think it's about time we called time on this experiment. I have simulated forward a bit more, so we'll go to the end and then we'll catch up on internationals and stuff, all that good fun stuff. But the sugar daddy's gone. Does that mean Wolves are going to start slipping? So we're in 21:35. I've gone another 40 odd years because this game simulates so fast. So it just simulated overnight and just got here. So in the Premier League, we've got Bournemouth who are currently winning it. Bournemouth have won it. Wallace in charge. They've not got a sugar daddy. They've just been run terrifically well, have they? Champions League winners, Europa League winners. So Champions League winners for Bournemouth twice. Wolves have got another Champions League back here. So as we look at Wolves, we see 26 Premier League titles. They've got 7 Champions Leagues. They've done very well, have Wolves. And yeah, Bournemouth have got plenty of Premier Leagues, as have Wolves. Sunderland winning them there. Arsenal. And that's all it's been. Ipswich had a few in the 2090s and they've fallen away. Where are Ipswich? They're now 7th in the Premier League. So the success of the 2090s has not been replicated for the last 30 odd years. They have finished 3rd a couple of times, but Wolves have maintained themselves and doing pretty well. Have they got another sugar daddy back in? They have not. They've not, but they just run very, very well. In terms of players, 183, best player there. Finishing 5th this most recent season, which is actually disappointing. Bournemouth. Oh, well, look at that. This player, Mirko Loffredo, is declining and he's still at 185. Potential ability of 199. He's been at 199. You know he has. The Italian stallion, Mirko Loffredo, has been a powerhouse for Bournemouth. £71 million they paid for him, and he's joining Al Hilal. He's not even going for money. He's going on a free. Not worth a lot, though, to be fair. Which contract's expiring? Forest and Luton down here. Let's have a quick look at the league. Doncaster in the Premier League going down. Arsenal getting Champions League football for mid-table. Wrexham promoted in this final year. Have they ever been in the Premier League? Yeah, they've been in the Premier League loads, to be fair. They've yo-yoed around in the last 25, 30 years. Go on, Wrexham. Fulham down there in 10th. Aston Villa and Everton in the Championship. Anyone else? Leeds. Southampton down in League One, Palace down in League One mid-table. That's disappointing for Palace. Sheffield United getting relegated again. It's just the story of every single experiment at the moment. Sheffield United are abysmal. I mean, I don't know what to do. Maybe we'll give them some money in a different experiment, see if they can make anything happen. West Ham coming up in the playoffs from League 2. And the Vanarama National League, we've not got loaded for speed of simulation. Again, Wolves winning quite a few Carabao Cups in terms of the FA Cups. Bournemouth and Wolves have won a few more. Bournemouth have got quite a few, actually. Nothing really to write home about. As we alluded to, though, the Champions League has been won by Bournemouth and Wolves. No one else has won it really of any note. Europa League. Again, Bournemouth and Wolves winning the Europa Leagues. Forest coming running up there to Brest, making a bit of a tit of themselves. Hey, bang, there you go. There's your pun at whatever time the video this is. Late on. You've stuck around for that. Enjoy that one. Yeah, not much happening. Probably been the Conference League there. So let's have a look at internationals then. We'll have a quick look down the managers. I want to see, did Ralph become the manager of England? Tony Mowbray did. That's the new Ralph watch. Tony Mowbray. If you saw the video the other week, Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, John Mousinho. No, Ralph Hasenhüttl. In terms of World Cups then, we have had Italy, Spain, France, Italy, Croatia beating the Ivory Coast in 2042. That is an unusual final. England, up for Spain, Germany beating Bosnia and Herzegovina in the 2058 final. England beating Austria in 2070. Spain beating Chile in 2082. 3 in a row for England, beating Brazil, France, and the Netherlands. 3 in 4 tournaments for Germany. France beating Morocco, and Ireland beating England for their first ever World Cup with, again, a horrific new gen face. So bad. They are so bad. And the Euros, well, it's been a couple for France, the Portugal, a couple for Italy, France again, Netherlands, Germany. England won 2, either side of Wales winning 1. 3 in a row for France. Serbia beat France in 2084. Wales got another. And yeah, Spain and Portugal, and just the usual names. Ireland runner-up here in 21-28, so 7 years ago. And they've gone on to win a World Cup in 2034, I think that is. So fair play to Ireland. Golden generation. That's it. Hope you've enjoyed yourself, gang. Hope you've had a good time. Any ideas for future experiments or things you could tweak to these kind of things? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Take good care of yourselves. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you soon.